Hello, welcome. This is going to be a reading for August 20th, 2019. Just asking for guidance on what the collective is going through right now. And I'll be using the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck by Matthew Hughes. Anyways, I hope you can all hear me. I'm just shuffling at the moment. Grounding my energy. Asking for clearance of my own internal noise or any external environmental noise. And that this be in the highest good of any and all who tune in. Okay, so first card, Ace of Swords. I'm going to have to figure out my lighting situation to do this, but let's go ahead and put it that way. Okay, so Ace of Swords is, I see this as a brand new beginning. And swords, like, it's cutting through something. That's what I'm picking up on. So we've got this new beginning that starts within and within us. And the moon is also in Aries right now, so I find that very appropriate as the lunar cycle is just completed its wheel around the zodiac, and now forgive me if I'm a little hesitant. I'm brand new at this, so this is, like I said, a test run. This is a new deck. I really am inspired and love this deck. So anyways, you've got new beginning, starts with the self and the individual, and I want to say that swords are, not that they're mental, but I mean, swords are the element of air, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And they can be associated with conflict. You know, it's like the double-edged sword. It's like you can use a sword to cut food, or you could use it to cut a person. It's like the intention is always going to be what determines how the quote-unquote weapon is used. But it can also, you know, slice through cords and be positive. So where is it that we're starting fresh, we're starting new, we're cutting away from the old, and we're following our instincts, our individualism? There's a crown up here. And how can this serve the highest potential? Okay, now this card is jumping out, and it is the Eight of Cups reversed. So cups are emotions, and the reversal can indicate a sort of hopeless confusion, drifting, rejection, is what the little book says. So, you know, it's scary sometimes to break away into new territory. And this card is, it almost looks like this wanderer traveling the mountainside, looking at the moon. And, you know, 8 is infinity. It's also Leo. We're in Leo season right now. In upright, this card could indicate just this abandonment and withdrawal, just this wanderer, this guy, he's like wandering lost at night under the moon, like he's searching for something. But then so the reversal, I don't understand. The book says that it's hopelessness, right? But I would almost think there's a sense of being, maybe there is some of this internally happening. As we start this new beginning, it's sort of this driftless, where is this going? So where is this going? The well. Can you see it? So I don't know that this is the greatest setup. I'll have to figure out another setup. But you have this woman looking out, and I don't know, there's just this nice feeling with this card that she's by the well, and the number is 22, so a little bit of synchronicity happening there. And this card corresponds to Gaia, so new ideas are going to be coming in, and there's going to be lots of transformation. Inspiration and new opportunities. Just like imagine if you broke away from the old, not sure where it's going to go, a little bit lost, forlorn, world's turned upside down as you travel and seek. And then here we are. We're going to go to the well to replenish, like almost like, I don't know, maybe those video games back in the day, like you found the magical well, you can replenish and nourish yourself, revitalize your life force. Those like this very nurturing feminine energy to this card. A birthplace of new ideas, new creativity, and I want to say emotional nourishment, and just a way to bring this to life. So I'm going to say this is what's happening. It's definitely happening in my life, and a lot of my astrology correlates with the collective, so hence why I'm feeling somewhat called to do this. And whatever. Okay. So now I'm going to just go ahead and pull a card for a fire sign. We'll go ahead and go through all the elementals. I'm just going to do one card for each, keep it simple since I don't know what I'm doing. And the fire card. Fire card, 5 of Cups reversed. So let's go ahead and scoop these up here. Put that there. Okay. So as you can see, you have this beautiful boy just curled into a ball into himself with these 3 cups spilled out and 2 behind him that he's not noticing. There's a water around him, and cups are definitely a water element. So, even though this is for fire signs, I would say that the Five of Cups reversed means we've possibly been mourning a loss from whatever this new beginning was. But the reversal of the Five of Cups is actually really great in the sense that it can indicate an acceptance and a forgiveness. So accepting the loss, seeing why it's necessary, finding forgiveness that whatever you had to let go of or get away from and start fresh. There's been a lot of nostalgia and maybe regretting that decision and really going into some intense grief. But I feel like the reversal of this indicates that the grieving process is becoming a healing process. And I know that there's just nobody wants to go into grief or death, but there's really no way around it if you've lost someone or something you love, or even if just your reality is changing, which everyone is getting rearranged right now. I found, at least for me, that grief is what gets you close to God. And religion aside, just love, divine love, let's put it that way, the universal force. So there's been a lot of grieving for fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and or even just lamenting a loss, feeling like maybe there's been some failure with a relationship, or just a loss, maybe a loss of a job or a living situation. Maybe there's been some, I don't know, whatever it is that's had you down. The grieving is coming to a completion process where it's becoming mourning, and in that mourning there can be healing. And I don't know, Cups is a water sign, so I don't know if this relates to maybe a person, Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, that you're finding some acceptance around whatever you've had to let go of, and that's going to it just syncs up nicely with this being restored at the well. So something new is going to come out of the loss. And then let's just go ahead and pull a oracle card for fire signs. So I know I said I was only playing one card, but anyways. I always trust the direction of the universe and know I am being guided. So there's a beautiful dragonfly there, and I've been seeing tons of dragonflies this month, so I know it's the season, but I like that this brings up the element of trust. Trust that whatever's going on is going to be what needs to be happening for us to move forward on our path and to be in divine harmony. I'm going to leave these cards here. Okay. Next, we're going to do Earth. Mars just went into Virgo. So our energy is going to be, our instinctual forward energy is going to be wondering, how do we move forward? How do we move forward to serve? What adjustments do we make? How do we need to be humble? In Mars rules Aries, it's a fire sign moving into Earth. So I just pulled a card for fire because we're in Leo season right now, and then we'll be moving into Virgo soon. So 2 cards want to come out, so I'm just going to run with that. The 10 of Wands and Temperance. So, carrying a burden. Earth signs, you've been carrying a burden, and you've had to learn how to essentially transmute the heaviness you're going through into something that's ultimately going to serve you while being patient. The fact that both of these cards really jumped out together, I find significant. And 10 is a completion. And Temperance is alchemy, so something is completing and transforming for Earth signs. And it corresponds to the number 14. If that means anything to anyone. So there's a need for balance. Maybe even there just needs to be a re-examination of what is this that's weighing you down, and how can you rebalance the energy so that this isn't such a burden. Because no matter what life throws at us, whatever we're carrying, is there a way to let go of some of that? New beginning. I feel this is very masculine energy. You haven't been wanting to carry this burden. You're ready to set it down. And the Temperance card is going to help you do that. So anything you can do to initiate self-care, restore balance, breathing techniques, going to bed earlier, drinking more water, eating healthier food, grounding, hugging a tree. The Temperance card, what is she? She's got water in one hand, and I need to learn this more. You're basically just having to figure out how to balance opposites in your life. So where are their polar extremes, and how can you rein those in, and how can you essentially set down, even if it's just for like a 10-minute meditation, can you just set down your burdens and connect to the peace in your heart before you pick it back up again if you're not able to completely set it down. And the Temperance card is really going to help you figure out, like, what's next. What's next? Oh, and if I didn't mention, earth signs are going to be Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So, and for this reading, I mean, we all have, your sun sign is your major sign, but you have all these elements within your chart. So depending on how well you know your zodiac chart, like if you know your moon and ascendant, like if you have an earth ascendant, this can relate to that. But this Temperance card is, just look at how beautiful it is. It's like you've got this guy, the Ten of Wands, I love these illustrations. He's humbled, but you can tell he's tired. And it's been a long journey. But then this brings so much. I love that these came out together because, minus my poor lighting, there's just such a strong presence to this Temperance card. So even if you still need to be patient, earth signs are great at being patient. Continue to cultivate the patience, find the balance and the grounding, and she's going to assist you with whatever this is. You'll know why it's happening with her guidance. No, so let me just pull another card for you. This one wants to come out. I was going to shuffle more, but when I'm in alignment with love, when I am in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. Okay, so the Temperance card, she's going to help you find your alignment. And that peace will come with the balance. Okay, so fire, earth, air is calling to me next. And this card just said hello. So there we go. 7 of Cups, air signs. Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Oh, this card is, it's just really one of the best representations of the 7 of Cups I've ever seen. So look, can you see this? Got this like lizard creature guarding the cups, and then this guy holding a skull and a mask. Oh, it's just so perfect. So I'm going to read from the little book on the 7 of Cups. Again, cups are emotional. What does this represent in relationship to your own emotional state or what's going on in your relationships currently? This little booklet says that this suit appears when you need to pay attention to your own intuition when making decisions. So, Seven of Cups can represent illusion. We've got the mask. Unrealistic desires, imagination, and possibility. So that sounds a little bit more positive reading out of the booklet than the card looks like. I've also heard that Seven of Cups can be illusion and being scattered. Oh, the book says illusion right here, which I pointed out with the mask. So, okay, let me just tap in. The message I'm getting is that there's an illusion you're not wanting to confront at the moment. And this could be about another person. It might also be about something you need to confront within. It might even be this unwillingness to feel emotion, and perhaps, maybe wanting to escape into fantasy, or, hide behind the ideal of what you want instead of just confront the reality. Which can be painful, right? Like, denial serves as a protection mechanism. And that's okay. If you're feeling this, that's okay. There's nothing... This is just for some of you. This isn't necessarily all of you. If we move these cards... air signs too can be people pleasers, as well as they want harmony without... Is this my hand? What is this? Air signs can want to avoid conflict and keep an illusion going in that sense. So is there anything you really need to confront within, without? Be it an emotion maybe you're not wanting to fully embrace, or a situation, or just the truth about a person. And can you find a way to embrace that? Can you set the mask down? Can you take a deep breath and feel into the part of your body that maybe is resisting grounding? I don't know, I feel like I'm overthinking this, so let's go ahead and jump to another card. My fearless freedom lights up the world. Well, that's a beautiful combination. So we kind of have this like haunting dragon, creepy mask, skull, illusion, imagination, but it's like that there's this bright sun card just kind of cutting through the illusion. So how can you bring light into the dark? Look, there's all this dark and the sun is just shining, right? So how can you light up your own internal world? And that's going to free you from these illusions, right? So often we think of freedom as, well, I don't know what we all think of freedom. We all have our own interpretation of freedom, or what being free means to us. However, illusions can be really ensnaring, and breaking free from those illusions is exactly that. Can find freedom. So don't be afraid. I feel like this card is saying don't be afraid to confront or embrace whatever's happening. and that you can go to the well and trust that you're going to be able to cut through whatever this is. Okay, so last but not least, my beloved water signs. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. This reading's for you. What do you need to know? Knight of Pentacles. So, you're right at the edge of manifesting abundance. You're stepping into your power. You have a new beginning. You've let something go. It hasn't been easy. The well is there to replenish, and you're on your way. Pentacles is very earthly. So for you, this could mean that you've done a lot of work and your health and your finances are starting to improve. You might be recognized at work for doing a good job and or getting promoted. Or perhaps you found a creative outlet. And it's pulling in some joy and it's like you're able to give out in a way you haven't been able to, and now it's going to come back to you. So that's good. I would say enjoy this. You've worked hard. It hasn't been an easy year or an easy summer, and let me just pull an oracle card for you. I don't know, these one card readings might not be enough information. I just thought I would try and keep it simple because I have a tendency to overcomplicate things, and this is really a big experiment. But anyways, so back to water. What do water signs need to know? Divine Spirit. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. So Pentacles, very earthly, even though it can be ambition and abundance and material wealth. And the Knight is also very favorable in that position. I would say that this card is a good reminder that the earth associated with the pentacle can also come through sitting still. And it's been said that prayer is asking and meditation is listening. So anytime we can ask for help and it be heard, or we can sit still and meditate and listen to what our higher self or guides might be telling us, it's going to create this bigger abundance in the world. So I guess that's what I was going to do. And let's see. I'm not feeling like this is complete though, like something else is wanting to come through. So let's go ahead and leave those there. Put those back. Leave those out. What's the overall message for all the signs? Maybe shouldn't have muddled this. I maybe should have just let it go. Okay, we have the Eight of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Four of Cups. So maybe some of you are feeling a little bit trapped or disappointed with where you're at right now. And that is what it is. Why can't I find the wands? So maybe some of you are feeling like, I don't know, like this entrapment, lower, denser energy, definitely some shadows coming in, and but then the Four of Wands has union, celebration, promise, and community. So you might be feeling some being trapped by a situation or a circumstance, or maybe even a separation. And don't despair though, because the Four of Wands means that this is necessary for this breaking away, the new Ace of Swords, to cut through to what's new. And the Four of Wands is a harmonious card. There's promise, there's going to be a community, and there's going to be a reunion. And then the Four of Cups is just like, wow, so we've got these two fours that equal this 8, but it's backwards, right? So we're working from the 8, and then there's this beautiful, airy, everything's going to be okay, along with the Four of Cups, which could mean again, maybe a feeling of discontent, like you don't know what's happening right now. So I would almost say these two kind of go together, you know, like I know in a situation I'm in right now, I'm feeling both of these where it's a situation in the past where I used to be trapped, and I'm trying to bring the light into the dark. And there is a little bit of apathy and resentment. However, maybe not even, I don't know why, I don't understand this card. The Four of Cups, it's like, I'm definitely doing a lot of meditation, but then the rest of the thing reads that it's apathy, discontentment, and resentment. So not maybe being grateful for all that I do have because I feel this way, right? So I'm just using a personal example because I'm a little confused on how to read these cards. But I feel like by not letting this story or timeline remain in the past, and by meditation and just a willingness to sit and be in the energy and bring the light into the darkness, there's going to be a promise of community, or maybe even community is needed to combat these. So friends, support groups, whatever floats your boat. And no, let's boy, I really should have just ended, huh? I pulled it together okay, though, right? This is just a promise of a celebration and a union, so I find that celebration and a union of what? The Nine of Swords reversed. Oh boy, I'm just digging myself a deeper and deeper hole here. It's okay, right? It's all good in learning. Maybe someone will hear something they need to hear. This card is amazing. Nine of Swords. So there's going to be some kind of revelation. It's coming. Throughout facing this, there's a promise of a union. And I said a union of what? Like a promise of what? So the promise... Can you see this card? I got to get a better camera and lighting going here. But anyways, upright, this card is like a lot of fear and anxiety, right? She's totally freaked out about all this stuff coming together, or in her mind, or all surrounding her environment, right? But reversed, we have an objectivity, a greater perception, a revelation. So there's a promise of a revelation, an awakening, even recovery from this stuff and whatever's going on here. Recovery from the burden. Recovery from the grief. Recovery from the financial strain from the past. And cutting through illusions. Cutting through illusions. Being that moment of just complete overwhelm. You know, they say that disillusionment is one of the most painful things to go through. So there's going to be that moment of what the F. And but at the end of all this, there's a well of renewal. So find that well. What is that well within yourself? How can you drink from that well? So it's sleep, meditation, community, service to others, artistic inspiration, being around friends, being around animals, maybe just taking a deep breath and realizing that wherever you are is okay. And we're all in this process of awakening. So, thank you for struggling through my first reading here. And just the last card. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. Thank you all. Be well.